I want you to imagine this. A 13-year-old little girl wakes up on a hospital bed. The lights are too bright. There's a machine that's beeping in slow motion. Beep, beep, beep. Her body is covered in tubes. And there are two pipes on either side of her fractured ribcage that are draining out blood. There are also glass pieces studded all over her arms. And she lays there on the bed with a spine with a body half paralyzed and a heart completely broken. You know, there's no manual for moments like these. No YouTube tutorials, no motivational quotes, and definitely no TED Talks. The doctor enters the hospital room and he says that you have sustained a spinal cord injury in a road accident and you have lost your ability to walk forever. That girl was me, and that doctor, smart guy, was right. 14 years down the line, I still cannot walk. But that one thing that he omitted to predict that day was that I lost the ability to walk, but I gained the ability to fly, and I landed here on this stage to give a TED Talk and share my life story with all of you. You know, there are certain moments in life that completely transform how you perceive your life and the circumstances around you, and in those moments, you really have to decide to either you have the option to stop and cry and sit in a corner and wait for someone to come and help you, or on the other hand, you can really step up and, oh, I'm forgetting my lines. Give me a second. I have it written with me. Okay, so when life knocks you off your feet, literally, you don't wake up with wisdom or strength or courage. You wake up thinking, confused, why is everyone looking at me as if I am a tragic Netflix documentary? And no one likes sad endings. I certainly don't. So I decided that I will change the genre of my life's documentary from tragic to magic and give the country a few headlines over the next few years. The first one was, Pratishtha Deveshwar, a Delhi University student from Punjab, makes history by becoming the first ever wheelchair user from India to study at Oxford University. Pratishtha Deveshwar from Hoshiarpur wins the prestigious Diana Award in the UK. Pratishtha Deveshwar has been nominated as the regional ambassador for the prestigious Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign by the government of India. So you must be wondering, how did I go from that hospital bed to being here on this stage sharing my story with all of you? I did three things. I learned, I unlearned, and I relearned how to live. And that's what I'm here to share with you today. Let's start with what I learned. Now imagine waking up one morning and realizing that you cannot do this anymore because you've lost any sensation in more than half of your body. In that moment you will realize how these little things that we take for granted are so important in everyday stuff that we do, and how, if these things are taken away from us, then our lives will completely change. I remember the first time I sat in a wheelchair. It was 14 years ago. I was just 13. And I asked my mother to take me in front of a mirror and leave me there. I looked at myself, and being human beings, ध्यान सबसे पहले वही जाता है जो हमने खोया है, right? And look at my legs that I had lost the use of. and a tear rolls down my cheek. But then, as I start looking upwards, I look at my arms that I can still lift in a cheer. I look at my hands that I can still write my story with. I look at my eyes that I can still see big dreams with, and then I look at my smile that can light up any room I roll into, just like this one. And in that moment, I learned the art of focusing on the silver lining, focusing on the light at the end of the tunnel, focusing not on what I have lost, but on what remains. And that is what you should do as well. When the world tells you who you are, my humble suggestion is ignore them. Because after my accident, suddenly everyone became an expert on what my life should look like. You should not travel alone. You should not live by yourself. You will be a burden on your family. Maybe you should take up an easy job at your home. Maybe you should not go abroad for masters. You are a girl and you have a disability. Your life is going to be very challenging. It's better you just sit down. And the world, had an entire script written down for me, which basically said this: you can't. And you know what I did? I tore it down. At the age of 18, just a few years after my accident, I decided to leave my hometown in Punjab, where I had all the comforts, and move to Delhi to live independently and learn how to survive alone in this world. I studied at Lady Shriram College, and everyone came telling my parents, "You are making a mistake. How is this girl in a wheelchair going to be able to survive alone even for a single day?" They acted as if I have decided to go and settle on Mars. They just could not digest that a young girl in a wheelchair with a disability can be independent, can try to make her life better. But that's exactly what I did. After I moved to Delhi, I started my disability rights advocacy. I started my motivational speaking. I started talking about my life. And not just that, I learned how to live life from scratch. I learned how to dress myself. I learned how to bathe myself. I learned how to use the washroom independently. I learned how to make my bed, how to cook, how to vacuum clean my room, basically everything that people think I cannot do, because when someone looks at a person in a wheelchair, they assume that she must be just lying on bed all day. But that's not what a life with a disability is. I taught myself how to do all of these things over the years, and it really, really made a difference, because it was only because I tried to make myself independent and I was not afraid to fall is the reason why I was able to fly. And I want you all to do something with me. Can you all put your hands like this? Create a box like this. This is the box that the society tries to fit all of us in. Too ambitious, too disabled, too loud, too feminine, too thin, and the list is endless. Now I want you to let go. Open your hands and let the box free. Let the labels go, because the society will never let you live. Nahi jeene denge. If you keep listening to what they have to say about you. So you need to unlearn what the society tells you and relearn living life on your own terms, because nobody can tell Pratishtha what she can do and what she cannot do. Pratishtha decides for herself what her ability is and what her disability is. And you have to just ignore the naysayers. I remember a lady once came up to me and she said, "You're too pretty to be in a wheelchair." And I said, "Auntie, you are too rude for with working legs. People think that disability is tragic. Disability is something that you have to be sad about. And that's what the society kept feeding me with as well. Until one day I realized that disability can be confident, disability can be beautiful in a pink blazer, disability can be intelligent, and disability can just be me, unapologetically. If somebody would have told my 13-year-old self that one day you will be able to travel the world on your own, you will be able to dance on the streets, fall in love, live a life on your own terms, I would have laughed, because it seemed impossible at the moment. But impossible is a very arrogant word, because it underestimates people like me and you, who know how to reinvent themselves and how to create your own personal renaissance. So the goal is not to return to who you were. My goal is not to be able to walk. I don't think about being able to walk. My goal is to live the best life possible with what I have at hand now. My legs don't work. I don't care. I would still move ahead in life and try to achieve my dreams as confidently as I possibly can. And if I can do it in a wheelchair, all of you definitely can too. Sometimes I think about that newly injured girl, and I feel like saying a few things to her. If I could go back to her, I would hold her face in my hands and I would say, "Sweet girl, I know you think your life is over, but one day you will stand taller than in your spirit than you ever could on your legs. You will travel the world in a body that refuses to move, but a spirit that refuses to stop. And you and your story will be what people will derive strength from and people will be inspired by. And one day, you will be whole again. Not because your body healed, but because you did." Broken things do not stay broken. I do have a broken spinal cord even today. So if you're sitting here today with a broken dream, a broken heart, a broken sense of self, broken identity, please hear me out. You're not at the end of your story. This is just the end of a chapter. Turn the page. Learn, relearn, unlearn. Do everything that you have to do to live your best possible life. Because my life mantra is, if you cannot walk, if you cannot run, walk. Such a tongue twister. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, fly, just like I'm trying to do, because the skies are waiting for you. Thank you so much.